Welcome to the Whole Athlete Podcast, where we focus on discussing topics to help you become a fat burner, optimize health, and improve performance in life and sports. Transform the whole you from the inside out with the WHOLESTIC Method. Let's dive in. Here's your host, Debbie Potts.
Hey everybody, it's Debbie Potts doing a new episode of the Whole Athlete Podcast to help you improve your performance and longevity in daily life and your favorite sports. Do you like my radio voice? My new Thursday podcast voice. Hello, everybody. Hey, today we're going to do part 2 of my journey, just so I can help clarify my mission, passion, and purpose in my new step in life moving forward. As Fitness Forward Studio sadly comes to a close October 1st, 2019, because the building's being torn down and it forces me off the ledge to move on to what I've been passionate about writing and speaking about and coaching past 10 years, especially since my own chronic stress disease came on 2013. And I feel it's my mission to help other people avoid going through what I started doing in 2013. But it just wasn't what happened to me March 2013. If you read all about my personal story on my book called Life is Not a Race, it is a journey on Amazon, and also the WHOLESTIC Method manual on Amazon that I created as well the year after that, because more is better. Just kidding. So less is more. So that's why I'm closing my studio so I can focus on doing this. I have always been type A, sometimes AAA, I think in the past, personality. And I want to show you or educate you how to identify those red flags that lead up to accumulation of stressors, creating chronic stress disease, or what we talk about as I become an FTM practitioner to go with my nutritional therapy practitioner work, is what Reed Davis terms as metabolic chaos. And metabolic chaos, HP axis dysfunction, we used to call it adrenal exhaustion, and the 3 different phases of adrenal fatigue goes to adrenal exhaustion. And, you know, it's not just the adrenals. If you listen back to Dr. Wilson and listen to Reed Davis and Dr. Maffetone over the 300 episodes we've done on this podcast, plus another 100 of Fit, Fat, Fast you can find in our archives, I find that the hypothalamus communication to the pituitary gland tells the adrenal glands how to respond to a stressor. And ideally, we respond to an emergency, a threat, and then we get into fight or flight, sympathetic dominance or sympathetic nervous system, and we respond, and then we recover, shift back to parasympathetic. We should have this resiliency going back and forth, which we have lots of podcast episodes on the archives on heart rate variability with Jo Beth Dow recently and Rhonda Collier from Sweet Beat. And we've talked a lot about sympathetic dominance. So what we would ideally like our bodies to do is respond to that stressor, that external, internal stressor, that emergency response system, and then recover and repair and get ready for the next response. So we rest in between. Instead of what most of us typically do in our society, athletes and non-athletes, we tend to respond to that stressor, but we don't stop. So we respond when we wake up to that alarm in the morning to wake us up, and we don't stop running until we get back in bed at night and fall asleep or try to sleep. So my mission is to help educate everybody, especially people as myself who like to push the envelope a little bit and train for endurance sports that are not natural to our body. We're not supposed to go run a marathon or do a triathlon, especially an Ironman or 50K trail run. We're supposed to just do less exercise with higher intensities and some recovery workouts, like going for a 30, 45 minute walk or run, going for a short bike ride, and then do some high intensity intervals. But what we're doing is challenging our body's nervous system and our stress response system, which relates to everything else, by doing more endurance training and not resting during the day, just going nonstop and multitasking. So let me have you go back if you haven't listened to part 1 of this story the other week. Today I'm going to kind of transition into what I learned as a nutritional therapy practitioner a few years ago about how this all connects together. So digestion and nutrient absorption is fundamental to optimal health. So no matter how many health concerns, health complaints you might have that are related to our digestive system, that connect to just regulating your blood sugar levels, to having hormonal imbalances, adrenal HPA axis dysfunction, essential fatty acid deficiencies, and mineral balance gets out of whack. We have all these things that happen in nutritional therapy that we talk about, as well as in my FTM practitioner work, that detoxification, hormone balance, immune function, cardiovascular health are all related and able to improve if we work on what we eat, how we eat, and when we eat. So instead of just exercising all the time, which is kind of why I got into this, I wasn't helping people get healthier from the inside out. I wasn't improving their health that much with just personal training them twice a week. Exercising alone doesn't cut it, which is why many years ago, 2011, I started in 2012 creating this holistic method, the whole athlete, WHOLE, as with this podcast, that we need to work on our other elements of the holistic method, not just exercising more to lose weight. I've seen people struggle with fat loss. For 25 plus years, I've been doing fitness training, coaching, personal training. I've been running fitness center before I opened my own studio. It just doesn't work by itself for most people, unless you happen to have amazing genetics. But it takes work to lose fat and gain muscle strength. And it doesn't just have to do with only exercise. We do need to exercise, but that doesn't help you lose fat weight. If you talk to Dr. Barry, Dr. Nally, Dr. Westman, it's about nutrition. So let's work on that right now. So focus on your off season as a triathlete to work on my program. Will be starting in November, 30-day program to be Fat Adapted Athlete. And I'll be promoting that in a webinar end of October. So you can sign up for free for that soon. But think about the Holistic Method coaching program. We're working on what we eat. We're working on how we're digesting the food and how we're absorbing it. So it's also when we're eating. Are you eating before bed too closely? Are you eating throughout the day 6 times like we used to think was good for us? Are you eating your food really quickly and not even chewing your food 20, 30 times? You're eating just big pieces of food, not even chewing it, breaking it down before you swallow. A lot of this is related to putting us in sympathetic dominance and not parasympathetic nervous system. So we enhance that nutrient breakdown, starting with our mouth, the saliva that's released when we start digestive enzymes and the carbohydrates start being broken down in our mouth, and then in our stomach, start breaking down the proteins and the right stomach acid. And then we get into the beginning of the small intestines, the duodenum. We need to have the stomach acid, the right amount, the food broken down enough so it activates the different hormones that signal the gallbladder, liver to release bile, and the digestive juices help creating that breakdown even more. So it's really important to eat the right amount for right type of foods for your metabolic type, and making sure you're eating the right macros that balances your blood sugar. For most people, I find that makes ketogenic diet or low carb, high fat effective. Some people are slow oxidizers. Some people are fast oxidizers. So some people, not myself, can tolerate a little more carbohydrates. If I eat carbohydrates, I won't stop eating. I'll eat the whole bag of those chips, even if they're gluten-free and natural and organic, but I will be eating too much of them and I don't get full. I'll end up eating more and my blood sugar will be out of whack. So for me as an individual, higher fat, low carbohydrate, and eating more protein, animal meats is my goal right now for my health, my body. We are all bio individuals. So I really get tired of listening to people and hearing posts on Facebook, people comparing themselves to other people trying to get the same success as someone else did. We are all so unique. So it's really challenging to follow exact programs someone else does and expect the same results. Remember yourself as well. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, this definition of insanity, trying to expect different results, it's not going to work. So if you keep doing the same diet program over and over again, if you keep trying the same way to get stronger or to lose fat weight or improve your health, it's not necessarily going to work again. So you need to change up what you're doing and mix it up and try something else. So a nutritional therapist can help you. FTM practitioner is what I'm studying right now to finish my certification this October, so I can order labs and help correlate all this information we can collect from a person from an individual basis and work on combining all this data to help create what they say. FDN is a Dress for Health Success program that we don't treat anything specific, we treat everything. If you've read my book, Life is Not a Race, I learned the hard way. I was going to see 8, 10 different doctors expecting someone to help give me that magic solution, that magic supplement that just cured me of this chronic fatigue and my weight gain and my lack of energy and positive attitude was just gone. I just felt crappy. And I learned as I was writing the book, and it's not until this year, 2019, and remember, I started all this chronic fatigue stuff since 2013, that it wasn't just supplementation. We keep getting lab results, and treating the symptoms. Even if it's a functional doctor, traditional medicine, majority of people I would see and I hear about just treat the lab results. And we don't do that in FDN or nutritional therapy. We work on the whole picture, work on the whole athlete. And a lot of that is correlating the results of the labs with their lifestyle factors and what we're eating. So Dress for Health Success program stands for DRESS. Reed Davis likes all these words to remember things, but remember DRESS is diet, so your nutrition plan. Rest is working on sleeping and recovering, repairing. Ease for exercise and working on the right amount, that Goldilocks effect, not too much chronic cardio or not chronic cardio at all, and right amount of strength training when appropriate, add HIIT training. And then S is for stress, as we all focus on that. This chronic stress seems to be epidemic. And then supplementation. And we just take supplements as long as you need to bring your body back in homeostasis. The body's smart, has its own innate intelligence to help heal and rebuild with the right building tools. As if you can't build a house without building that foundation first, and it needs parts. It needs the nails and the screws and however you build a house, I don't know. That's why my husband works in the yard, not me, repairing things. But you have to have all the parts, the vitamins, the minerals, the enzymes, the right supplementation to rebuild your house, rebuild your car, rebuild your body. So I love doing this. This is my passion and my purpose to help athletes figuring this out, which is why I'm organizing this meetup and seminar with Paul Larson in Kona to talk about this. Then I'll have that online free webinar the last 2 Wednesdays of October around 4 o'clock Pacific time, as I'm in Seattle, so everyone around the world can log in and watch the video, come online, ask questions, or head to the recording link I'll send out after you register. So most individuals are constantly stressed, that chronic stress. And when we're eating in a stress mode, we're in that sympathetic dominance, that nervous system that shuts off all the natural digestive system processes that happen when we are parasympathetic, that rest and digest state. So we need to take a moment and breathe before we eat, slow down, chew your food, not working, not driving your car, not doing 10 things at once. So you can measure your heart rate variability if you want to know how strong in balance your nervous system is. So we've, as I said, talked to Rhonda Collier and Joe Bath, who did the Sweet Beat Elite app, but there's other ones, Elite, HRV Elite. There's some new ones, and there's Oura Ring. There's all sorts of things you can do to track your resiliency, your ability to recover, repair from a dose of stress. So if you want to optimize your health and our mitochondria I keep talking about, we want to focus on not only what we eat, but how we eat and when we eat. So taking time to get some lab testing, as I'll do as FTM practitioner, which includes the labs I mentioned in our previous podcast. I talked about the labs, but the food sensitivity lab, or you can use these HRV apps. I know Sweetbeat does that. You can measure your sensitivity to food based on your body's reaction. Your heart rate will increase after your food that you consume that you react to. So measuring your stressors and tracking your ability to strengthen your nervous system and keep it more in balance. It always goes to that Goldilocks effect, not too much this, not too little of that, just that right amount to keep us in homeostasis and balance. So optimizing your intestinal gut health is key for digestion and absorption, for our microbiome, and for inflammation, and a lot of autoimmune different chronic diseases are related to our gut health. So working on strengthening our microbiome, our gut wall lining, all helps connect to brain health, to our immune system, to our hormonal system, and just overall inflammation. So the first step in becoming fat adapted and reducing the signs and symptoms of what we talk about metabolic chaos, we want to prioritize 3 elements of what we discuss in my coaching program: nutrition, stress, and digestion. Then, of course, the other elements of the holistic method are essential to balancing and transforming the whole you. So we talked about the exercise, movement, or mobility. I'm saying more. Sleeping, quality sleep, hydrating throughout the day with good filtered water with sea salt electrolytes for most to all of us, and giving more time, spending more time in your day with people that are happy, that make you laugh, make you smile, make you relax and be silly a little bit. I think we get so uptight and anxious and just wound up that we don't know how to relax. So that's that sympathetic dominance, I think, a little bit. But, finding people that are energy robbers, that are toxic, those are the people you need to kind of stay away from when you can. If they're family, you can't. But just really limiting your time with people that make you feel crappy and angry and anxious and kind of are triggers to you. So a few years ago, I had to eliminate someone in my life that was causing me constant stress and really putting me into more of that metabolic chaos, because they were a very difficult person to work with and caused me constant stress. So only way I can progress with my own healing and rebuilding my metabolic chaos, my chronic stressors, was to cut this person out of my life. And as sad as it was, it helped me progress in my healing. So you might have to do that for yourself if you have these chronic stressors. It might not just be eating too much sugar and eating foods that you're sensitive to, but working on the whole you. External, internal stressors. So to improve our fat burning metabolism, because I know that's what most of you ask questions about, it's like, how can I lose more fat weight? How can I speed up my metabolism? Start by working on your stressors, your lifestyle habits, your digestive supplements. As I just shared this new supplement, it was in a few podcasts ago with BioOptimizer, their Capex. I think it's like the best all-in-one digestive and ketogenic supplementation to add in digestion absorption and help you be in more nutritional ketosis. So check that past podcast out with Capex. And I think it's a huge one to try out because it combines everything I'm going to tell you that most people need. HCl, betaine, berberine, digestive enzymes, megaspore biotics. There's so many different supplements to take, but that's why nutritional therapy and lab testing with FDN is really essential, as well as taking your genetics, the 23andMe, upload it to Strategene or Dr. Andrew Rosenberg has a great program on Beyond MTHR, and read about how your methylation cycles might need to be adjusted if they're too slow or too fast. So Dr. Ben Lynch of Dirty Genes, this is my other favorite book. So learn more about your genetics, learn more about your nutritional deficiencies lab work, and get nutritional therapists or a functional kinesiologist or some chiropractors that can help test supplements on your body to find out which one is actually helping you. So as nutritional therapy practitioner for clients that are local, I do a hands-on neurolingual testing that we have different reflex points in our body related to digestion, liver, gallbladder, stomach, small intestines, all these different points that we do, a whole hour assessment. The next appointment, I'll have you come in and we, based on kind of clinical correlation, everything, I'll figure out which supplements that your body might be lacking and nutrients that you need, and then I'll test them on your body. You can have someone do muscle testing, or I can put it on your tongue in 30 seconds, go back and retest that point that maybe on a 1 to 10, 10 being a heavy or a sensitive point, that right supplement will bring that number back down. So we know we're on the right track to supplementation. So going back to chronic stress and just feeling better, as I talk about, I want you to feel better, move better, and look better on the inside and out. So what's under the hood is really important, not just your physical appearance, because we talk a lot about being fit and healthy versus being fit, fat, and unhealthy. I think a lot of athletes, endurance athletes, are not losing fat weight because they're eating that traditional athletic, high-carb fuel plan and eating so many carbohydrates before, during, and after their workouts that they're actually causing metabolic chaos and causing their body to gain fat instead of actually burning the fat that they should be using for fuel. So if you're getting used to feeling that's the way you are, you blame the age, you feel crummy, sluggish, heavy every day, I don't want you to blame the aging process. I don't want you to think these unexplained health complaints are the new you and you just get used to it and adjust. That is a pet peeve. That's not true most of the time. This is something we can change, and we should be able to thrive and feel alive and embrace the vitality of our life by taking ownership for our own health. And think of your health as your wealth and your well-being. We can take control of our health and improve the aging process. We don't need to take medications all the time and put a Band-Aid on the problem. We need to just dive deeper in with functional labs and clinical correlation to our lifestyle habits, to our symptoms, our complaints, and put it all together with your genetics, figure out what you need to do to repair, reset, and recalibrate the whole you. So just as if your car needs to get a tune-up, get some repairs done, you have to look under the hood to find out where the sources of stress are, hidden stressors, which parts of the car are out of alignment that are creating chaos in the life car and wearing out the car faster than it should be. Just as with your own body, are you speeding up the aging process or are you improving it? I want to improve the aging process. I want to feel better and look better as I get older, not just assume I'm going to look like crap and feel like crap and move like crap because I'm aging up. The founder of the FTM program, Reed Davis, says that the symptoms of chronic stress, metabolic chaos, appear far removed from the actual cause. So doing a thorough investigation of the criminal scene may be beneficial instead of spending months or even years chasing symptoms, as I did, by putting a Band-Aid on the problem, taking a supplement to treat a lab result. So the lab result says I'm low iron. I'm going to take iron supplement. That doesn't tell me why my iron is low. What is wrong with my stomach acid? What's going on with my gut function? Am I not breaking down my proteins into amino acids? Am I not breaking down my food to get the iron out of it? What am I not eating that has enough iron in it? So there's so much to look at. Instead of just taking a supplement, we need to look at all of it. So instead of wasting your time and feeling sick and tired and out of balance, we should, and I hope you believe, to taking the road that makes you feel thriving and embracing the change as we go through life and make it a positive experience, taking a new journey as I am this year. So taking lab tests as a GI panel that I spoke a little bit about in the last podcast is a stool test over 3 days that may help you identify imbalance in your gut microbiome flora and identify hidden gut bugs, infections, or bad bacteria. Then we have other lab tests that we can order that provide additional insights on our protein digestion. So if our proteins break down into amino acids help make neurotransmitters, and neurotransmitters are made in the gut. If none of that's working, we need to find out where these different stressors are coming from. Also, liver detoxification, as our bile removes the toxins, so we need our liver functioning right, and our liver detox pathways 1 and 2 need to be functioning. And oxidative stress, that we increase a lot of oxidative stress with eating a high-carb diet and constant stress of our exercises, and if you travel a lot too, it's another source of oxidative stress. So we can do a urine sample to measure our metabolic components there as well. So gut pathogens are difficult to identify, but specific functional lab tests are essential to rebuilding the whole you and another hidden stressor that we don't know unless we test. So we should thrive with ease instead of living with disease. And we are also looking at getting our body functioning at optimal levels instead of just getting used to being in dysfunction. So it's not just one test and one supplement that fixes everything, as I said. Instead, I'd rather you treat everything with a FDN, a practitioner, or myself that will help improve your whole body from the inside out. My goal as a practitioner with FDN and nutritional therapy combined, and my Keon coach with Ben Greenfield and the Czech Institute holistic lifestyle coach, and then DNA Fit genetic testing, and then I'll do Dr. Rosenberg, his Genius Body genetic program next year, is just combining all this data and tools together and being able to help people a little bit more, because we can correct the body's inefficiencies with nutritional therapy, the labs, the genetic testing, lifestyle changes, the holistic method approach. We can finally restore balance in your body and bring it back to normal function, which is what homeostasis is. And our body has its own innate intelligence. We just need, as I said before, the tools to help guide it back onto the right road, the right path. But if we keep living life as a race, ignore those red flags, and we're not identifying with the right lab testing on what our hidden internal stresses are, we will keep in that chronic stress mode and just keep going, feeling crappy as we age up. If you don't know what's going on, you just keep treating the symptoms, and we just don't make any progress. One thing you can start doing today is changing what you eat. If you're not low carb, high fat, or balancing your blood sugar, I would get a Keto Mojo type of blood sugar measurement, measure your glucose and your ketones, and start changing what's in your fridge, what's in your pantry, how you reflect on your eating habits when you go out to dinner or when you travel. People that travel all the time for work think they can eat whatever they want because they're on vacation, or I have clients that go to Palm Desert all winter and they think they're on vacation every day, and they end up eating a lot of excess refined carbohydrates, vegetable oils, and just too many sugars. So my goal is to help you guide you back to health and identifying those healing opportunities together, and help you educate yourself to make those choices, because it's an individualized plan that we'll create, but it's your job as a client to follow that plan and implement those strategies into your own lifestyle to become the optimal version of yourself. So again, the lab tests are just part of the area. We use that as extra data, just as genetics. We put all the information, the assessments, nutritional therapy, add in that information too, and create that protocol that works for you. And ideally over time, with the right commitment, your main concerns and complaints will improve as you transform the whole you with the right coaching program and tools that I'll give you. The goal should be improving your function and health, but it takes time and patience for you. So as an FTM practitioner, nutritional therapist, it's really working on creating that right blueprint for you to help transition into the total transformation program and to help you stay on course and retesting along the way, reevaluate your plan, make sure it's working for you. And remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. So we have to tweak things here and there as we learn what works and doesn't work for your body. But if you learn from my experience, a lot of it is lifestyle habits. I've had to change my work schedule. I block off more time to work at home, for my exercise, for my evening sessions. I don't have as much work at night because I wake up early. I just have changed my whole work schedule. And as I did the own questionnaires for intake form as a new client for FDN, as we practice what we preach and do all the lab testing and paperwork ourselves as a practitioner, I realized how far I've come over the years. Since 2013, when I started this journey, I had so many red flags on those forms that was like, yes, 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 I have all these different symptoms. And I realized I got the opportunity to say, no, I don't have that anymore. Nope, had that, don't have it now, because of what I've done over the years to myself. It's really just this year. So trust me, the struggle is real. And if you're struggling to burn fat, regain energy, gain peak performance, I think I can help you, or at least listen to the podcast if you don't have the finances. I'll give you some free information on my blog, on this podcast every week, as Thursdays is my solo edition to talk about how I can really give you the tools to transform the whole you from the inside out with the holistic method, because we need to train the whole athlete to really be healthy. And if you're trying to do an Ironman next year, a big 50K race, a marathon, we have to start taking some of these elements one at a time, or 2 or 3 things to work on at once with the holistic method coaching program. So we need to work on that metabolic efficiency, metabolic flexibility, mitochondria function, and really see what hidden stressors, what's going on under the hood with functional lab testing, and put that all together with our genetics, metabolic typing, nutrition program, and food sensitivities. And it's a lot of stuff. But if you want to train and improve the aging process, this is what I think we need to do. We can enhance our performance in daily life and athletic sports. We can embrace the aging process instead of blaming our health getting older. So the aging process can be good. I just had my 30th high school reunion, and I know that we can get healthier. I felt a lot better health-wise as I did 10 years ago, my last reunion, and I realized how much happier I am than I was 10 years ago and how much has changed. So please join me on my journey and let me know if you have questions. Check out the new Low Carb Athlete page on Facebook and my Instagram, Low Carb Athlete, and hopefully you can help me promote the Fat Adapted Athlete meetup and seminar in Kona, Ironman week on the Wednesday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., hopefully at Bikeworks. And then I will be offering a free webinar, how to train the whole athlete to be fat adapted, the last 2 Wednesdays, 4 p.m. in October. So lots going on. Then I'll launch my 30-day fat adapted program using the holistic method starting in November. So you can start doing this program 1 month at a time, or do 3 months to really transform the whole you. If you find that you have more symptoms, main health complaints that we need to dive in deeper, that's when I will have you do the individualized coaching program to do the functional labs, do the genetics, take your nutritional therapy assessments, put it all into the holistic method coaching program to transform the whole you. All right. Thank you for joining my journey. Please share this podcast with others to help get this message around the world. We've got a lot of listeners in the UK and Australia, and it'd be great to get more responses from you, seeing your transformation stories, to hear about how you're training for a race and how you changed how you're fueling and training and recovering, and just taking time out to pause. Take a little 10-minute rest break before you go do something. Just sit down and breathe, meditate, relax, unplug, chill. So I'll talk to you next week. Let me know if you have any questions. Go to debbiepotts.net to find all of the resources. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Whole Athlete Podcast. If you have any questions, feedback, or topic suggestions, let us know on Facebook or at wholeathletepodcast.com. You can help us continue and grow by leaving a review on iTunes. Thanks again, and see you next time.